Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another streaming help session with Vortical Slide 75. And I am Twyla. He'll be here in just a second. Go ahead and pop in channel here with Panzoff. Can you hear me, Panzoff? I cannot hear him. I'm not sure if...
Oh,
Hey, there he is. Okay. Fantastic.
okay, guys. I'm gonna kick this thing off here. We're just gonna use standard scenes and everything for it, so just so you're aware, for right now, and Panzoff, how are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
Awesome. Excellent. Can you guys hear Panzoff okay? There we go. We just have standard scene up for right now, because I think we're going to start with a general thing of just creating an overlay out of need to do so, because I've been needing a chat scene personally, so we can go ahead and make that thing as well. So like this.
Test. I have my volume turned down.
Oh, do you? Okay. Your setting. And awesome. Riggers, Loss, Miss J, thank you guys for cruising over. Whoa, big screen. That's not what we wanted. I think this will actually work out good with it being right there. Perfect. There you go. You guys can kind of see what I've got going on here now as well, and infinite loop of stuff as well. Still mad you missed the last one? I actually uploaded them as well, so if you wanted to watch the VOD of it, you're completely fine to do so. And just to give you guys a little insight, also, intent down the road is, this is why we're doing bi-weekly, is one, that's the time that we have to do it, and two, opening it up for other members of the team to potentially do this on their own as well, just to be able to connect with the community and help you guys on a different front, so it's not just my voice and other things like that. And I know other members do bring different things to the table that I don't necessarily bring, so.
Oh, I didn't know you had my camera on.
I didn't know I did either.
Hi guys. Sorry, this is my I don't care face.
So before we kick it off, do you guys have any topics to discuss? Because I have a couple here that we had planned on talking about. One of them, I actually have to turn the music down on my end just a little bit. It's a little obscene. Okay. I just wanted some ambient noise in the background there, but essentially we've got taxes, email filtering, which, wow, email filtering has been a savior for me. And then just etiquette for shoutouts and raids on raids and hosts. And then one thing that was discussed as well is talking planning and organization, which was asked of me personally. So just wanted to know if you guys had any other topics you wanted brought up or anything like that in the meantime. Panzoff, did you have anything?
Maybe a little talk about moderating. How much trolling to put up with?
How much trolling to put up with? Oh, okay.
Yeah, when to use that ban hammer, etc. When to do something,
question.
when not to do something.
That is a good question. So, I mean, I'd call it a shade of gray more than anything, but it's going to be how much are you capable of handling on your own before doing it? Because I'll say one thing to that, and that is I'd rather protect the viewers that are already there than worry about the one person that's trolling, and I'll just hit the ban anyway, because there's enough people in the world that you don't have to worry about trying to retain that one viewer. And that's something that I say to a lot of new streamers starting out, because I know that viewership is a big thing, and because they're trying to hold those viewers, so you always want to try and approach it delicately, but at the same time, if you treat the community you've got already with respect to that level of just banning that person right off the gate, move on with it. Like, don't be afraid of that at all.
Yeah, and that's why I brought it up. I had some troublemaker recently, and it made me think about a good thing to talk about at one of these, because it's important that those are there who like you or to enjoy watching what you're doing. They want to see you do something about that. I think as a viewer, when I'm somewhere, I hate seeing that stuff disrupt the performance or the stream, and then it's always good to see something get done about it. It's unfortunate when it's the streamer themselves and no mods are around, but unfortunately you got to do it yourself when you don't have anyone around to help you. So you got to do it, and that's what Twitch talks about too in their
absolutely. And it does happen. I mean, the other thing too is there is another option, and that is you can troll back as well, but I say approach that with very delicate velvet gloves, because that can blow up in your face as well. I can say that I personally have went down that road of trolling people back. It generally works, but it's really dependent on the streamer in question at that point, and what's going on in your chat, and the type of chat you have. So, I mean, gauge it on your own community how you handle those things. If that makes sense. You can set your bots as well with keywords for things. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, anything that's going to be, I guess we'll say racist, religion speak, anything like that, that's not common word used in normal speak, yes, you can set that for auto modding as well. And I have just a couple select words and phrases that are set that way myself as well. So, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
What else did you have in mind for mods and all that? Rip, what's going on?
I guess, when do you decide that some supportive member of your community should be a mod?
So this has actually been brought up to me a few times, and I have an odd scenario, because early on I had those couple supporters that were there right from the start that I made mod, and they actually weigh in on who the next mod should be whenever it comes up to that. So it's a very odd dynamic, but I'm going to say don't force it. It's more viable for you as a streamer to go at it alone without mods than question the mods that you're going to have, until you have someone that you go, this is the person that I'm going to completely trust with the level of responsibility in my chat that they're going to respect it. So don't be afraid of that at all.
Nice.
And I mean, I can go down the road of, I see some, you know, very large streamers that have only 1 to 3 mods. I see some others that have like 10 mods, but they give them specific responsibilities. That can be the other thing too, is you can have mods that you just let them know, here's what's expected of you. That's one thing I would say, is whoever you choose, make sure that they know exactly what is expected of them, so that there's not any bad blood if they ban someone because they did something when in actuality they were just trying to defend you streaming, and you're like, oh no, that's not in the realm of anything that I care, and it's only because you didn't communicate it up front. So I would say, above all else, communication.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say don't be afraid to get some mods. You know, those that do support you, especially early on, will really appreciate it if they're up to the task.
Oh, absolutely. But that's also where, I mean, I just recently made it so my VIPs can do shoutouts. It's not anything that's over the top with responsibility. It's not going to be detrimental to the aesthetic of the stream, anything like that, but it then takes pressure off of my actual mods so that the people have something that have been around that they can actually do and give them a little bit extra. And just, I mean, it's kind of a way of saying thank you as well to them, that I'm trusting them with that piece of it. And apparently my lighting and camera does not like me wearing this bright red shirt, because
And now it's not doing it.
there we go. Okay,
I did it.
did it? I look away and it doesn't look. It does not like, because it's color difference on my shoulders, so it's looking at it as shading.
Yeah.
So yes, be aware of those things as well. With that, and I always try to get the streamer.
Exactly, Miss J.
Yep. I mean, very clear expectation. That's for all walks of life. So, absolutely.
Yeah, that's good. Talking to the mods, good call. For
Yeah.
sure. Stay in touch.
Exactly. Human interaction. I mean, who would have thought that that would be a thing, right?
I know.
Oh. Kirby, what's going on? Except for Kirby, we don't talk to him.
Yeah, we don't talk to Kirby. I don't think anybody talks to Kirby.
Yes.
Oh, I have a meme for you, Kurt.
I mean, Kirby, I know you've modded for a lot of channels, and you've modded for me for a long time as well, so you have anything to weigh into that also?
Kirby's almost modded for a full year for you.
Yeah, Kirby's almost modded for a full year for me.
Well,
You can even... Yes.
yeah, exactly.
And that's why I say your mod choices have to be relevant to your channel, because many of you would probably not choose Kirby for that reason. What?
Actually, we did have a discussion with that. I was like, well, I don't know. He does say some pretty crazy things. Bordy's like, yeah, but that's Kirby, and he fits well with our community.
Yep.
I said, you're right, he does.
Exactly. No, we were just talking about mod selection and everything like that. So it's been amazing that the last two, this one and the last one that we've done, we've covered some topics that aren't just logistics of touching buttons to stream, but the other side of it. So yeah. And again, guys, as I said, we come in with some loose topics that you guys give us, and it's very open forum. So pick mods you can hang out with outside the stream, and that's a good call as well. But I would add to that just one little piece of it too, is make sure that they don't have the same personality that you do all the way around, because if you do that, you're going to pigeonhole every bit of your stream, because it's going to be a lot of you and not a lot of diverse feel to it, but people instead that you are comfortable gaming with and hanging with and that kind of thing. Open line of communication with them. There you go. Absolutely. I mean, I don't really look at it as just my mods are my mods. They're kind of my sounding board and confidants and everything, because that's
Exactly.
the level it's really rolled to. So that's the level of trust and integrity that we're talking about.
And if you don't feel that way with them, don't pick them.
Yep.
You don't have to have a mod.
Fans off, what about you? You get anything else to weigh into that?
I mean, Yeah, we covered the topics I was thinking about talking about on that. Just something I thought would be good to bring up.
Perfect.
I don't know what else to say other than yeah, be prepared to get the the most trolling from your mods.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, mods are like the little brother you never had and never wanted.
Keep you on your toes.
Exactly.
Right. But yeah, we'll break into then and really talk taxes. And I want to put a little disclaimer on this as well. I am by no means a legal tax representative, so take this with a grain of salt. But it's just to let you guys know that there are many things that you can claim, because at the point that you're a streamer, you are now self-employed to that level and have access to business tax rulings in most, if not all, countries. And from what I've talked to of the fellow content creators I know out of country from the US, and hands off is in Canada as well here, we have very similar things on a very base level anyway, so this should apply to most people. So, and I figured it was a good thing to talk about anyway, because it's that time for anyone that hasn't approached it as well. And just know that if you're just starting out, haven't made much at it, Atomic, if you want to drop in with us, you're more than welcome to. And Kirby, for that matter. And any of you guys are welcome in here also, if you guys have questions. So just really wanted to make it a open forum. That's why we're in here. And Gray, how you doing? It's a little hard to hear what questions being asked. Is fans off a little quiet?
Test. Am I a little quiet?
Here we go. Let's see if I can raise them up a little. Hold on, guys. Let me do one thing real quick.
Oh yeah, I do sound really quiet.
Do you? See if that's a little better. It should be slightly better. Check. I just don't want the music to overpower it either.
Right. Test.
You should be hitting at a higher level now.
Yeah, I'm hearing myself loud and clear now.
Okay. Perfect. I think you're sitting right at the same level that I am. Alright. Awesome. Give me just a second, guys. I have one thing to do. Real quick.
Alright. While he's gone, it's everyone's favorite emote right now.
I got some pretty baller ones now.
Hey, Atomic!
There's
Oh, you got those new ones in. Nice.
Music's a little loud. I can't do anything about it unless we move it to a new source.
Oh, because it's all desktop.
Yeah.
You can turn it down right there. Bottom right corner.
Just turn
Turns
down
it down
Spotify
here.
a bit.
You don't need to hear it.
It turns it down here. I have to turn it off. It doesn't change volume on there.
Oh.
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
Oh, it's going through another
Well,
software.
you wouldn't hear it, but we would. Differently, wouldn't we?
Those are awesome, Atomic.
If you adjust it on there, it adjusts it right here.
thanks.
Ooh, Atomic, those turned out great.
I know, right?
I absolutely love those.
They cost
Nice.
$47, but yeah.
Well,
Hey.
that's worth every penny, and not a bad deal. And did you want to shout out who made them, or?
That's a good deal.
Yeah. It was on Fiverr. I found a dude named Kong Vector.
Oh,
Actually,
nice.
it's a team. They do There's like 7 of them, and they have those orders. They do those orders super fast. They're never on a high queue for people. It's pretty great.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Good stuff. Yeah, it's definitely worth it to pay to have your emotes made. Speaking as someone who tries to make all of his on his own. So hard to find the time to do it.
Yeah. No, I
I
simply
love
told
your
them what I
emotes
did
though, Pants Off.
Thanks, but I couldn't draw anything like this from scratch. These are great.
Yeah, they literally, all they had to go off of was, I want a gecko, I want it to have a hat, I need one where it shows him having hype across his hands, and then I want one that looks like he's in a rave.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That's all I got, or gave him, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Sorry, since I didn't have an actual scene set up for this, I was just adjusting it here so that it doesn't have my own alerts or anything, just so you guys know why I was button clicking. That's amazing.
Yeah.
If you want to toss that into the Discord as well, I mean, that's pretty much going rate for
Yeah,
fairly high quality emotes anyway. It's
3 for
about that
50.
3 for 50.
like 20, 25 each. Or
That
3
was-
for
Yeah,
50.
or even 20 each seems fair market value right now. Sorry, what?
There was one that I really wanted to get emotes from, but
The Infinite Echo.
for whatever reason,
I have him pulled up on multiple sites there, Kirby.
yeah. They decided that they wanted to
I think
charge
he's just talking about
$30.
your screen.
And then if you wanted to say like 6 emotes, it was like $160.
Oh, okay.
It was insane. Like there was no actual like ratio or getting a bargain for doing more. But she was really good. That was the other thing.
That's awesome. You gotta type it out, but just so you know who's in channel with us as well, it's 2 fellow members of the Casual Nexus stream team. This is Panzoff and Atomic Wind. So, do you guys know who's chatting there?
I'll be popping.
I don't have any commands.
Probably.
That's fine. That's why I said you have to type it out.
Twilight, it's Atomic Wind or whoever you're doing, twitch.tv/ and then their name.
That's https://
Oh, you want me to actually type out their pages?
twitch
Oh, snap.
dot tv.
Will you stop?
This is her first time on the site, guys. We're trying to teach her as well. That's why she's sitting in.
Oh, don't even. I'll spell it wrong just for you.
I mean, I don't think you really need much help in that department, do you?
Yeah, pretty much. But no, one big one is that's why we don't have alerts on this channel and everything like that as well. That's why we don't have any of that. This is free from distraction of all the normal Twitch stuff and everything like that, so that we can just have a chill conversation and everything. So that's why we get to do it the old way of typing out what 5 extra letters.
Truth.
So, as far as taxes go, since we were on the subject of emotes and everything like that as well, Atomic, I think you got open mic there.
Yeah, you hear him sucking on a
Maybe
sucker or
go to-
eating ice
maybe
cubes or
go to Push
something.
Talk or
I'm on my phone, so.
Oh, okay.
you can still do Push to Talk.
How do you manage push to talk besides hitting the
There
microphone
we go.
over and over?
We're getting our learn on.
A button will show up on the bottom.
You know how to turn it on mobile?
Are you on Android or iPhone?
iPhone. No, I get that if I just keep pressing the microphone thing to do unmute and mute. I get that part. I was hoping that maybe you had like a version where I could like lock the phone and then just press that button. So that way I could like.
No, the mic button, yeah, it can cause like clicks and stuff. Push to talk is a little better, I think. But yeah, it does do on mobile. Does this like push to talk button, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not sure of it. I generally, if I'm on mobile, I don't have it on.
Yeah, so I just joined a voice channel on mobile, and it has a blue push to talk button at the bottom. But yeah, taxes.
Yes. Sorry. So yes, emotes. That's, since we were already on the subject of it, that is a tax write-off for you. Since that is a necessary business expense for you guys, that would actually fall under what would you say, marketing for that one?
I think so.
Because that is part of how you market your channel and brand your channel as well. So you're able to write a portion of that off, and that goes for with what we're doing here. Dante, what's going on? How you doing?
Dante, what's going on?
That goes for any expenses you incur for your stuff as well. So the singular expenses are going to be PC, monitors, any peripherals, anything like that. Anything that's necessary for the stream. A green screen. That's the obvious ones. And then make sure that you read your local rulings and everything like that, because Michigan law and I believe US federal law is about $2,500 in terms of a PC being necessary for business. Anything under that, you just claim it as a one-time thing. If it's anything over $2,500, you have to claim it as a depreciating value, just as you would with a vehicle. So that's the other thing too, is you get to claim mileage, and federal US is 57 cents on the mile that you get to claim. So this would be going to conventions or anything like that, because those are networking expenses that you're getting to meet and greet with other content creators and potential viewers and everything like that within the community. So that's a huge one for you guys to be able to write off. You to write off all those tickets as well, anything that occurs of it. Make sure you guys associate yourselves with entertainment expenses as it goes with it as well, because if you're going to these places and staying overnight, then you also get to write off portion of your meals and everything, because that's necessary expenses for you to go to those places, because you're not able to make food at home, that kind of thing. So you actually have to pay for food out and everything like that as well.
Yeah, here in Canada, when it's not a travel expense, it's 50% of your meals, but it has to be a legitimate business meeting kind of thing. Like some sort of business has to get done. And they suggest that you write down on your receipt who you were with and what you spoke about, in case you get audited.
Right. That's a very fair thing as well. So you can claim all your TennoCon expenses. Yes, you can.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Definitely.
So you can claim, if you drive there, you got, and you're in the U.S., so you've got 57 cents on the mile. You can claim portion of your hotel as a necessary expense for you to be there. You can claim food expense. If you were to meet and greet, let's say you wanted to schmooze a partner to work with you and that kind of thing, and you take them to a meal, you can claim your meal and the meal of their, or no, you can't claim your own meal. You can claim their meal as a entertainment expense, because you're entertaining them at that point as well, and that wouldn't count towards your normal meal expenses, but you can also then claim your normal meal expenses as well, because you're staying overnight. You can claim the cost of tickets, and then any other cost that would incur. If you buy different swag while you're there and everything like that as well, that is expenses that are part of that entertainment as also. And just know that there's a couple different rulings as well. If you fall in that you've made under 10,000 for the year, then you just have to claim it once per year as a business expense, and that's it. Once you break over that 10,000 a year, you then have to start claiming quarterly as a normal business expense would. So I know I'm missing tons of stuff. And like I said, I am not a legal tax representative. I'm just sharing this with you guys so that you know what you can do. And these are something to soften the blow as a content creator that is going to give you a little bit of kickback on what you're putting into. Because up front, if you just look at the subs and the bits and the donations, it's not going to look like a sustainable amount, but it's really what you do with your quarterly and everything like that, and getting sponsors down the road and everything. That's where the sustainable income is starting to come into it.
Yeah, and just make sure that you save your receipts, guys. It's very important. Save those receipts.
Credit points and free flights. I actually have what is it, from my old work and everything, the rental car cards and the point systems through the hotels. And
that was awesome.
Oh yeah. Which was cool because we used to get free hotel stays because my work didn't care that we claimed points on it, so we would get free personal expense hotel rooms, and then we would cover that stuff because they were writing it off anyway. When I started to stream. Yeah, and Tactical, just to answer your question there, if you, so I'm guessing you're saying if you made over 10K and then the next year you didn't, I would just get in the habit, if you're sitting right at that, or you've went up then down, just doing quarterly taxes anyway. Because then if you don't make that amount to where you've got to turn it in, you still have it on hand by quarter, and you're in the habit of running it like a true business when you look at your expenses and everything like that. And that can help you plan out as well in the future for quarter to quarter, because it's not, hey, you're making this much per hour as a streamer. It's more like a commission-based kind of thing. So that's going to help you then plan out your own finances and everything down the road and be able to sustain yourself as well just by keeping it by quarter. You kind of have an idea of what you're looking at and what you need to hold back for your own life, I guess we'll say.
And so another thing too, Tactical, if you have somebody, if you pay someone to do your taxes, it probably wouldn't be more than $100, $100 to $200, no more than that. And that, paying for a tax professional to do your taxes is a write-off in itself.
Yeah.
So
because that's a necessary business expense right there.
And so worth it, so you can spend more time streaming. As someone who
make sure you find someone good
doing this stuff. Yeah, I gotta say, like, if you're like me and you can't get around to doing this stuff, you hate doing taxes, it's worth it. Just hire someone.
Yeah. So I'm gonna throw you guys a big curveball that most people don't know as well. That was just informed to me. And Panzoff, I don't remember if it was you or if it was No Hope that was telling me about this, but the reason I haven't paid someone to do a lot of the things with the Discord, with the things like that, is that it's a fair and equitable cost that you can write off. It's a fair and equitable cost that you can write off because you're paying for research and development and training. So I'm using that time to write off at minimum wage, because that's what you can claim it as, a necessary cost that is incurred by your business for you to learn certain job skills. So it's basically like learning a skilled trade as part of that business that you get to write off at minimum wage for every bit of that. So you have to keep track of times and everything of every bit of that. So let me give you guys an idea of those things. I had to teach myself Discord bots, Discord, Twitch bots, a little bit of audio video, and but if you're going to do these things, you have to be very specific.
Very specific.
You have to be able to document when you did it, the amount of time you did it, everything. So you're talking about a lot of work, and I know a lot of people don't want to keep spreadsheets and things like that. They don't want to really put in the back end work involved with it. But these are the things that can give you a kickback that most don't realize as well.
Yeah,
so,
Ms.
yeah.
J.
So yes, that's kind of why you guys have seen that, hey, we're doing this, we're learning this thing, we're doing something different. That's why, because that's also a tax write-off. Yes, it is only a minimum wage, but the reality of it is that means you're then getting paid for doing some offline stuff as well, which incurs it just softens the blow of a lot of things that you're doing. Right. Now, just know as well that the chance of you getting audited and things like that is, if it's an obscene amount, like you put, you know, I spent 20 hours every single week doing training and research and development, but there was no netted result out of it, they're going to question that. That's really it. So it's got to be reasonable. Hands off. Tom, if you guys have anything to weigh in on that so far.
Where did Tom go?
I don't know.
Yeah. Not want to talk about taxes. I'm just kind of taking it all in. I'm actually behind. I didn't file my 2017, so I got to do 2017 and 2018 this year. That's going to be fun.
Oh boy. And Dante, thank you for that. Thank you for cruising in. I'm trying to think of some other things. So here's the other piece of it too, is you have to look at the square footage of where you live and your amount of office space. You can write off that percentage of either your rent or your taxes if it's a home office. You, for any travel purposes, since stopping working as well, so the back half of the year I get to write off depreciation of my vehicle, because that is now only used as a business vehicle. So any driving that's done with that is now depreciating just that. You can write off your registration for that vehicle, or if you, let's say you do 50% of your driving to work, 25% recreational, and 25% to conventions and things like that that are relative to you streaming, you'd be able to write off 25% of your registration fees and everything like that. You just have to document exactly why and what and how much. And what else goes into that? I know I'm missing something here. Right there?
I have my own personal notes for things that I'm supposed to text right off. Emotes commissioned out, or any graphics artworks. We already talked about that.
See, anything commissioned.
Mileage.
So, oh yeah, here's the big one, guys. When you gift a sub,
oh yes,
to a channel, that is a marketing expense. That is you making your name known, and you are networking within the community and everything like that. So that is yourself marketing to others. So you can write off gifted subs,
giveaways,
and giveaways to a degree. You're going to want to look at the
you're
going to want to look at the rulings for that. If you gift subs in your own channel, I'm trying to think of the exact coding, because here's the thing is you also have to split it up between marketing and one other that I can't remember the name of for each one of your categories for it. So yes, bits, subs, any of that stuff, that is marketing.
Networking or industry event, maybe. Like, I don't know. It's
but if you don't have the money, like, don't overextend yourself.
Yeah. So that is why you see a lot of larger streamers too that are gifting subs and channels as well. I'm not gonna say it's the only reason, because a lot of them do it because they have super generous communities. Let me step back and say that real quick. But yes, emotes as well. But realistically, yes, there is some kickback in the way the government sees it. Now just know that we are in the online market, so there's a lot of scrutiny towards everything we do, and that's why every bit of what you do has to be documented fully, has to be on the up and up. So there is a lot of back end work for it. And when we're all done with everything, I will probably, for once we start this year quarter thing, work with Twyla as well. If you guys are interested in the rough done spreadsheet that we have, we'll probably share a blank template of that if you guys want it. We'll be sharing that in the Discord as well. try to keep our lives organized. I mean, that was the other topic we were wanting to discuss today too, is planning. So, in case you guys didn't notice, I did do a full wardrobe change here.
I didn't even notice that. I'm so damn tired. I didn't even...
I give everything. The best advice I'll give anyone. Yes, exactly, Joker.
Yeah, thank you, Joker.
That's
yes,
tough.
definitely.
CYOA. Cover your own ass. Like... Well, t-shirts and other things that we get from streamers. Like tips
Like
and
if you were to buy, let's say... Like, if you were to buy a shirt that says Vorticoastline 75, is that what you mean, Tactical? Or do you mean, like, you're buying a shirt from somebody else that says Tactical Fatty? If you're buying a shirt from somebody else's stream, I don't think that's a tax write-off. I think it's
that
just
would be a
you-
big shade of gray. You probably could, because you could claim it as marketing, because it is someone else in the field. But I personally wouldn't claim that. So there are certain things where
Depends on your budget, too,
Like
how much
someone
it brings.
smudging your Pumas, just let it slide. And that's where I would say it on that level. But yes, now if you're buying your own shirts to take to a convention to give out to people, or if you do a giveaway for those, then yes, you can absolutely write that off. Exactly, Joker. And just to reiterate again for anyone that's just coming in, I am not a legal tax representative, so take what I
Please.
say with a grain of salt. I'm just sharing what I've learned thus far with you guys,
Double
in
check
hopes
with
that
the-
you guys can make the most out of your experience as content creators as well. Airbnb, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely, Kitten.
Yeah, that's travel expenses.
Absolutely.
Yep, travel
The thing
expenses
is,
all the way.
with it being for TennoCon, even though you paid for it, well, let's say you paid for your TennoCon tickets or whatever last year, you still can't write it off until this year, because it is something that was purchased for that event, correct?
See what?
Let's say I paid for and bought my tickets for TennoCon back in November.
That's where you can claim it as a business either way, because you can claim it at time of, or you can claim it at time of purchase.
I would say look at your actual taxes.
That's
and
why there's
see.
a window to actually claim taxes that isn't set in stone, like it had to be done on these days.
Oh yeah, I know, Kitten. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're still
we
good.
got ours in January as well.
Absolutely.
Right after you said something, I'm like, oh yep, good idea, and we booked it.
Yeah, you could always claim it the next year because, like, I don't know, like, let's say something's refundable. You know, you might want to claim it at time of using, you know, the service or the item or the time of the.
Yep. And I haven't looked fully into the depreciated value of things as well, but what I was saying about the over 2,500 for a computer, it's under 2,500, you get to claim it as is, done, moving on, and you get whatever percentage back. If it's over 2,500, you claim a little less to start, but you get to claim it over a 5-year span, because the government expectancy, at least in the US, is 5 years for the life expectancy of a computer. And so you get to write that off as a scaling amount each year, because it's going down in value, so you're losing part of the value of your property. What about your chair? Yes, because that is necessary for you to
Office
function in
equipment.
business. That's, yeah, office supplies. I mean, if you really want to get full technical and you're really tracking it that detailed, you can claim pen, pencil, and paper for that matter. Because
But make sure you're not going through 1,000 reams of paper each week, because that's a little bit ridiculous for a streamer.
And you do need to keep these receipts, especially if you hire someone else, especially if you get, just in case you get audited.
Yep. And I'll give you guys an idea. Like, we're going through everything and breaking up by category. We're having the pictures attached of all our receipts. We're having online receipts attached, and then we're putting it all together for our tax lady and going, here you go.
Wow, 3 countries.
Oh, that's rough. I thought it was bad when I was working in separate states, and I technically still had a resident in Michigan because I was living in a hotel, but because it was over 6 months, they made me claim residency in a different state. I mean, I had a weird tax thing that year, and I thought that was bad. Yes, Kitten, because you're under a certain threshold, like, I wouldn't worry about it too much. You should still be able to. It's really, once you start pushing into those next tax brackets, that it becomes more and more tight on you doing it by quarter. Very structured. So I just say it now so that you guys can start to get in the habit of having it prepared that way, so that if and when those things come up and growth happens and everything, it's already being done, so that you're not circling back and going, I have 2 years of taxes to do.
Yeah.
And now I have to do them every 3 months. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at right now, is we're going to finish our taxes, and then we have to do Q1 2 weeks later.
You were saying you have to go quarterly if you make over a certain amount?
Like 10,000. I think it's the same. It's either like 9, 10, or 12 in most countries. So I mean, it's very close to the US and everywhere I've seen.
I think here it's only if you go incorporate. I could be wrong.
Oh, okay. That might be. I thought it was after you hit to a certain tax bracket, because then you have to, because of self-employed clauses.
Yeah, there's probably something like that for sure.
I figured you would have to, Joker.
But I didn't have to do quarterly when I was making like 40K a year as a photographer. 40, 50K a year.
Oh, okay. In tactical, that might be true on a state level. Federal level's pretty set in stone, though.
It's so different here in Canada. It all goes by. Well, I guess it's not too different. We have provinces and federal, but
Oh, tactical.
Well,
Where
they
we're
just have
at,
different
we have to
laws.
pay federal, state, and city taxes.
Yeah, a lot of places have city. I mean, I'll give you an idea. Arizona has by city different tax amounts.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's such a different amount. I'll give you the biggest difference is like the tax on buying cars. You go to one city, it's 1.3% tax on buying a car. You go one city over, 5 miles away, to buy a car, and it's 7.5.
True story.
So that's just the actual tax for buying the car. But yes, some places have city tax that you have to pay, and a lot of those places are places that they really spend a lot of time upkeeping a lot of city initiatives, things like that, bigger cities. And then you have state and federal, and yes, they all are different entities. I mean, do you guys have that kind of thing in Canada as well? Or Joker or Panzoff, for that matter?
I don't know. I'm flying by the seat of my pants with my taxes up here.
Yeah. Hey, that's fair. What's the question? Oh, just really asking if you guys have any. I mean, I know there's some breakup between province and like actual Canada federal tax, but is there any city tax as well?
No, I don't think we have any sort of city taxes that I know of here. Maybe there's some exceptions, but yeah, I'm pretty sure here there's one federal form to fill out. I could be wrong. Yeah, because if I want to fill out the form myself, I go to the federal government's website. No, I'm wrong? All right. Don't listen to me. Federal and business. Oh, yeah, so business is always different.
Federal and business. Oh, okay. That's good. I just want to give as much information as we can compile together, and that's why this is a group thing. And anyone that catches the video or anything, they can get this information as well. No laptop.
So you already filed, Kitten?
It might raise some red flags to amend and add business expenses when you didn't claim any at all. Just one idea, but I don't know how they charge anything.
If you didn't claim streaming or claim self-employed business, then yes, you could go back and do that. But I believe you can hold on to it for a couple years until you get your actual Twitch payouts and everything like that, because you do have to show some form of money made in order to prove it as a business. Even if you fell in the negative overall, you still have to show that there was something that came of having said business. And I believe it's where it really starts to get looked at. Don't quote me on this one, but after about 2 years is when you have to start showing really business on the books of positive income coming in. And I mean, you can still incur expenses that push that higher, but oh yeah. Or you pay a guy. Yeah, but I mean, Kirby and Tactical, to that matter, it's nice to know the base thing of it so that you can at least compile it together for a tax person, because if you do what I've seen a lot of people do in like construction field as business expense, and they give just a cardboard box of receipts,
Yeah.
I guarantee you they're going to charge you about $500 to go through that, versus...
We have everything all organized when we go to Our Lady. I mean, granted, there's a lot that we do, but we have it all organized and ready, and she only charges us about $100.
Yeah.
That's very
But
important.
granted,
to
she
bring up.
is amazing, and she's actually gotten awards from the IRS because of how amazing she is.
Yeah, good point. I was so disorganized when I was looking for professional help back when I was behind several years ago, when I was first learning all this for the first time around. And I couldn't even get anyone to help me because I had no organization that I had done myself. So you have to track your expenses in a spreadsheet and keep your receipts in piles or folders organized, or no one's going to take you on, or they're going to charge you up, the yin yang.
Yep. And I mean, if you have the means to do it, this is what I'm going to suggest as the best, easiest way to do it. One, a lot of things are digital now, so setting up folders on your email to have those things by month, by expense type. So you would have a folder, and it would say January 2019. And then underneath that, it would say travel. It would say in a subfolder, travel, each type of expense. Then you drop those things into each one of those. And then do the same thing with any paper receipts, where you'd have a file cabinet and you have January as a big green folder, and then you put regular manila folders in there with each expense type, and you put your receipts in each of those. And that's the best thing I could say. And then when it comes to here's the spreadsheet, here's the folder, done. By a scanner. I mean, you can also, because of everything going digital, it is legally acceptable to take a picture of receipts, but I still like to keep paper receipts as well.
If you have it.
Yeah, I like to
Always,
take pictures.
if you can.
Yeah. So you technically could file every bit of it digitally and just email it to yourself and keep it all filed away digitally in that manner as well. So if you wanted to just organize it in one place because you don't feel that you're organized enough to do it, it'd be awesome to do.
That's a good point, and I really do like going through all the digital receipts. It's so much easier, and I'm just more motivated to do it than any of the paper. Also, with the paper stuff, receipts can, if they age, so they become a year old, and you start to do your end of year, you might not be able to read them at that point. They might fade. Maybe they got rubbed a bit, and I've had that before.
Oh, I have too, actually.
So if you take a picture of it early on, then that'll save you from losing any receipts as well through that or any other.
Very true. I mean, in terms of timing too, one thing I would suggest is either do it immediately after every stream, where you check it, you do it, you file it, and just get in the habit of spending 30 minutes at the end of every stream doing that stuff. So that can be while you're right over to someone, you're watching their content, you're still chatting with them, you've got this stuff up, you're going through your receipts, done. There's your thing that you do at the end of stream. That forces you then to spend a half hour hanging out in someone's stream as well, and it gives you a chance to network as well. So there's your other side of the streaming that we've talked about quite a bit. The other piece of it is where we take off one day a week, Monday, and it's office time for us. And go through it, do it then. But don't let it wait. You just create more work for yourself. It's overwhelming to look at, especially as it becomes more and more stuff. Y'all need to take 2 days off? Nah.
What's a day off?
So the other thing you can do, so here's the actual subject that we were on as well. I know that Gmail has it. I know a few others have it as well. If you title your mails like, hey, travel expense 2019, you can set up filters in your email. So if you email it to yourself, it'll drop it automatically in that folder and mark it as read also. So if you have filters set up for every bit of what you're doing, and just take the front end time to set it up, as you go through, you just email it to yourself and then, oh, it's already there. And then when it comes tax time, you already have it done. So we're not talking about an obscene amount of work. And what are you talking about? Kirby, this is our day off right here. We're just hanging out. They want to relax for a day? No, listen.
Yeah, we get that one next. The relaxing day is next week.
So
next
I
Monday.
guarantee you we're not going to stream every day while we're gone at TennoCon for 4 days, so we'll get a day off then.
Once a year, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we got this covered. This is a day off. This is a day off. I love this. This is what I've done. I mean, I love training, teaching, every bit of it. I don't care. I'll probably be that person, like long after I retire from whatever I end up doing late in life, be that consultant that still sits there because that's what I enjoy. So I'll be the forever working person because I choose to. I enjoy it way too much.
Yeah, we did talk last stream though about the importance of
Me, I was the stay-at-home mom.
Yeah, we absolutely did. That's what we said too, is like know your own limits, your own personal limits. Are you gonna break them at times because stuff comes up? Yeah. I say that as a little loaded answer this time because this past weekend was crazy, but and they don't have kids. Yeah, that's true. I enjoy talking business. Exactly. I absolutely enjoy it. But yes, it is very important to know your limits. Take that time off as well.
And Pans Off, I'm sorry if I keep cutting you off because I hear like a 3-second delay or something and I don't hear you talking. And I'm sorry.
You're listening from the webcast end. No worries. Whisper, whisper, whisper.
Okay, so just to let you guys know as well, when you have someone sitting next to you, she said she can't get in Discord because she wouldn't be able to hear the stream. Even though, let me put this fully out there, Hands Off and I are the only ones talking in said stream, and she would be in the channel with us.
One thing I do actually is so I got Discord at full blast, and then I'm listening to the stream as well, but at very, very low volume, extremely low. So if anything sounds weird or off, I might catch it, and also then you hear what music is going on. But yeah, it's a little bit of an echo, but it's so faint. It's just in the background. It's barely there.
Take 2 days. Yeah. Oh, I agree. Oh, Kirby, that was last minute things coming up and things like that. So it was a little different scenario. I mean, I'll just share it with you guys. As we said, spirit of transparency. It was since getting partner and applying for sponsorships and messages and everything like that. It was we sleep prior to stream and normally waking up to 2 to 5 messages, and instead waking up to 10 to 15 and some emails and everything else, and it's like, hold the phone, shut the front door, I need about a half hour. So it was a little taken aback on that level of it also. I'll just say it's changed my perception and given me a little bit. Yeah, is Bordy okay? Is he... Oh, believe me, I get him too. I have complete respect for every partner, like Twitch partner and everything, that responded to me long ago when I was like, hey, awesome, blah, blah, blah. And just randomly messaged them early on streaming, because now I feel the other side of it. And as I've said, it is open forum. I try to respond to everyone, especially in a timely manner as well. But it caught me off guard, the jump up of every bit of that, and it changed very quickly. So that was it. So yeah, that's all. It wasn't anything about ourselves or anything like that. It was a little bit of crazy. And I did take a personal day 2 weeks ago.
I didn't, because I had to stream that day.
That's true. DM Chuck Live. Oh, really?
Kitten, are you alive?
Is Chuck pretty in tune with business related stuff? I really haven't talked to him a whole lot on that level.
Exactly, Kirby.
Kirby, you guys need a veg day? I mean, that's kind of what yesterday was as well. Is like, that's why. Hold on. Let's
Speak for yourself there, Tiger.
let's dial it back. He's messaged me. He's had things going on as well. Oh, that's right, Joker. I forgot about that. That's awesome. Yeah. I might actually start pushing over to that a little more often as well and talking to him, because that's good stuff. You mean no Warframe? Boy, listen. Let's not make this about. This is
Okay, so that
the
means you're
channel
doing
for
variety again tomorrow?
streamer help stuff.
Kirby says
And
next
we
week
already
variety.
committed to every Tuesday to do Final Fantasy, by the way.
Kirby, you missed Surgeon Simulator. I've already got super triggered. It was awesome.
Oh, I love Final Fantasy.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I wonder if it's still going on. Humble had a Final Fantasy. I actually bought like $90 worth of Final Fantasy
Oh, that's awesome.
just so I could have it on PC.
Nice.
Of course, it's important to when you're buying anything on Humble, go find a streamer you support and use their.
You gonna buy me a story boost? Really? What, for my main story quest so I can skip past it? I mean, I understand the story. It's you know, epic battle, things happen. Main protagonist, something something. Words, monsters get bigger. Mechanics get harder, and here we are landing in game.
He does want to play this new league.
Joker, I forgot completely about the league
Joker's
coming
on
out.
Xbox too.
I forgot completely about
I'll
the
download it on Xbox. Riggers has been bugging me to download it on Xbox.
You gonna play it?
No, I said I'll download it on Xbox for you. Maybe
Uh,
I'll play with Riggers. Riggers wants me to.
man, the timing
Riggers,
of it
get
with
that out. You're
Division
not supposed to hear that.
Joker with Division 2 coming out and everything, I really wanted to keep up on every league, at least to play for a little bit. And wow. I'm having reason. Fine all day, and when I start streaming, like as soon yawning starts. I mean, I yawn on stream.
I'll say this tactical. You could be bored.
Yeah,
If you're bored, do something different.
yeah.
Have fun.
That's like a streamer curse. It's like so for some people it's an itchy nose. You know, as soon as they start streaming, their nose will get all itchy. They're scratching their nose all stream. I've done that before, and so yeah, I mean, you just gotta, in my case, moisturize. In your case, you know, perk yourself up, or maybe think about ending the stream early a little bit, maybe.
Yeah. Enjoying myself today.
Curb, any tips for streaming mobile games?
Did you get enough sleep previously, tactical?
Yeah, that too. You gotta have enough sleep.
Yeah.
Well, certain mobile games are a lot easier to stream with an Apple device because you can go out to HDMI easily. Otherwise, it's hard to with Android, but it's easier with Samsung because they have a software that mirrors to the PC quite well.
Let's not get the dog started. That may be the issue. Oh yeah, I mean, plenty of sleep is a huge one. The other one I'll say that was given when we really started pushing like 16 hour and doing 24 hours. If you have to take a 10 or 15 minute break at like 6 hour, 12 hour waypoint on there, go rinse off in the shower, go refresh. Even if it's not fully rinsed off, splash some water on your face. I'll be honest. We keep 2 spoons in the freezer. Because I have dark eyes as it is. Like, I always look this way.
I swear, we don't do any drugs
And
or anything like that, guys. But
so
he just naturally.
you put some spoons in the freezer. We're gonna show you guys right now, just to be ridiculous.
They're all
but
frosty.
you just put them on here, and it'll take the bags under your eyes off. It gives you a little fresh feel to it.
Yeah, no, this actually really works. What it's doing is
Did somebody clip that?
constricting the blood vessels. And this is actually a quick tip to get hickeys away too. You actually push the skin around with the frozen,
Yep.
or bruises, I think, as well.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. They're all the same thing.
Hickeys, you can take the plastic end brush and rub them out too. By the way, because
Yeah, just move the skin around. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a good look for you with those
You like that?
silver goggles. Yeah, it's a good call.
But yeah,
Kirby.
tactical. What I will say though, doesn't matter what hour it is in your stream. If you're, sorry, pans off. If you are exhausted because you didn't get enough sleep, or it's your normal bedtime and your body is used to this, but you need sleep.
Yeah, and I mean, the hard one for us too is when we're doing our office time. We've even transitioned that to where we do this office time now late night, just like our normal stream time. So it is a full schedule. It is 7 days a week. That's pretty much the schedule we live by, of waking time and everything. Yeah, I started with 3 hour streams on average. I mean, I was 3 hour, 3 hour, 3 hour, and then I, 6 hour. And I actually went to some other streamers as well that I was like, how the hell are you doing 12 hours? And I mean, now we do 8 to 12 hours a day plus some longer ones.
But
Short
also-
streams can be great. They can keep your average up. You know, they can, depending on your game or your time that you are streaming at, it could be the smart move to keep it.
But also, don't worry about doing the long streams if you can't handle it. Get used to doing like 3-hour streams, 4-hour streams, whatever the case may be. And then if you can handle those, then go ahead and start going a little bit longer. Don't go straight for the 12-hour, 24-hour streams.
Yeah, consistency for your community is going to be key. And if there's a differing opinion on it, where a lot of people are saying like, if you're not feeling it, it's okay to not stream that night. I personally feel obligated to be there for the community that has supported me through this time. So I'm gonna be like, hey guys, we're gonna do a real short one tonight. Like I've got a headache, but I still wanted to be here for you. And that's where I'm gonna say we will still show up.
But if you need a nap, stop and take a nap. Don't push yourself too hard. Because Twitch does not like it when you sleep on stream.
No one does.
Right?
Except the trolls who clip you.
The yawning is persistent. I do it too, and I'm not. And people ask me about it. I'm like, I'm not even tired. I don't know where that's coming from. Really, just 5 to 6? Yeah, exactly. And then on what, like Friday night, sometimes Saturday night. I've seen him do it occasionally Sunday. He might push like 8, 8.5. I've seen him do a couple longer ones where he pushes like 10. But yeah, he's highly consistent with his time.
Exactly, Gray. Wait. What kind of rabbits are we talking about, Kirby?
Yeah, so make sure you're just breathe, you know, breathe, drink water. If you're already getting good sleep and still having that yawning problem, yeah, take some deep breaths once in a while. You got yourself, you know, getting caught up in the hype. Or...
Yeah. So the other thing too is, if you normally sleep at, you know, we'll say 75 degrees or 70 degrees or whatever it is, drop it by 2 degrees in your office area. Keep it just a little cooler, so it's still comfortable, but it's not relaxing comfortable. Because I personally like it to be a little colder. I drive with the window down in the wintertime in a snow-filled area.
I absolutely hate it.
And I do that intentionally, because that's like amping me up when I was going to work.
I had a heat blasting.
Sleep at like 90, so that's easy. 90? I can't do that. But I know people that also opened the window in their room when they were going to sleep in the wintertime. Like in a snow area. Oh, you're talking rabbit like the movie viewing thing?
Yeah, it's good for watching anything with anyone, up to 25 people at a time.
I would love to, but we don't have Netflix. And I noticed most of the good movies are on Netflix on there. And I don't know, I can't even justify getting Netflix because...
We did have it for a bit.
Yeah.
I'll let you borrow mine for a movie night if you want.
That would be awesome. Yeah, I did want to do community movie night, something like that. One of these weekends.
Yeah, exactly, Curb. It's never been a problem, but yeah. As far as I've seen, for me, it hasn't, but yeah, it is only for up to 25 people at a time, which is still a decent group to be watching a movie with.
Yeah, I mean, it's... Now, can you just type or can you talk? Because it...
As the host, you can determine whether to turn off everyone's mics and video or and make it chat only, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Or otherwise, yeah, people can start up on the mic.
Kirby, you know better than that. I don't ask people for anything. Call it a bad habit here.
Yeah,
So-
I wait till I'm offered. That's why I never get anything I want.
We do have Amazon Video. 40.
Yeah.
'Cause you have
Yeah, there you go.
Amazon.
You got Prime. But there's not a lot of good stuff on Prime. Sorry, Amazon. It's like I go to watch the good stuff, and it's like you can buy this. You know, it's like, well, I thought it was on Prime Video.
It really isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Curb. Turn off everyone's mics. I like just having the chat go on.
Yeah, that would be cool. I mean, with everyone's mics off, is the host still talk and everything? So I can just be the one to interrupt everything?
Yeah. Right before scary part.
Yeah. Like, oh man, wait till you see what happens here. Wait.
Oh, guys, wait till you see. This thing's about to happen, and then explain exactly what.
Ask questions every 5 minutes. Oh, did you see that?
Ooh,
Did you
this
see
is when
that?
the guy jumps out from the bushes and
Yes.
stabs her.
Did you see that? Yes, we were all watching.
Yes. But we did get a little derailed there. But no, that's awesome to know too. I will definitely. I've been wanting to set something like that up. That'd be amazing. Does anyone have any other questions about taxes and stuff like that? Yes, Mystery Science Theater 3000 I absolutely loved. If you have not seen
He's
Mitchell,
saying, like Mystery Science
Well,
Theater.
great. Well, if you're talking about the old school one or the remake with Alden Paswell.
oh, the old school one.
I remember watching the old school one and enjoying it, but I watched some of the new one and I was like, what's going on here? And I turned it off.
Yeah.
Of course.
Old school is almost always the answer.
Yep. Yes, give me just a second, guys. I'm gonna drink my drink. I'm like, my throat's a little dry today. Give me just a moment, guys. Camera off. You still have Pans off and Twyla here to chat with you for a second. You want to talk? I haven't seen it at all. I don't think I want to now. Thank you guys for the feedback.
Twyla, are you still listening to me on a
And then if you guys have any topics you want to discuss in just a moment, let me know. If not, we can do a little talk of planning and organization.
What was that, Pans off?
Sorry.
Yeah, that sounds like a good topic. I was just asking, are you still listening to me on a delay? Because if so, that means I'm talking to you from the future.
Yeah, so I actually realized I can look at Vorty's TV and it shows when you're actually talking or not. It lights up your name like the Discord overlay. So I learned how to stop talking when you're talking.
That's awesome. There's so many interesting workarounds for everything.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
So you gonna go see Captain Marvel?
Pregnant Paws says yes. What are you talking about, Kirby? I would love to see Captain Marvel, but we have to take a day off in order to see that. And I don't know when we're going to take a day off.
Oh, worth it. Take the kids.
Can you explain if there's anyone new in here? Why we're doing what we do?
Alright, Joker, thank you so much for popping in. Really appreciate having you here. It was amazing.
It's Joker, thank you for that.
And thank you so much. And for anybody new here, my name is Twyla. The gentleman in Discord speaking with us is Pansoff. And the other gentleman is Vorticoastline75. We're just answering any questions anybody might have in regards to streaming. We're still relatively new to it ourselves. Vorty's been streaming for just over a year now. Just got Twitch partner and Warframe partner, and just trying to help out anybody else with any questions that they might have. And yeah, I would love to take the kids to go see Captain Marvel. Whenever they actually have free time as well. They've had a lot of school work to do and after school sports, and now they've got a weightlifting class that's starting after school in addition to everything else that they're doing. I just got the permission slip just a little bit ago. So did you see it yet, Pans Off?
Yeah, I saw it yesterday. It was great.
I heard it was amazing. I can't wait.
Went and saw it with the fam. My brother's kid.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you see it yet, Riggers? I'm pretty sure you did already. You heard it was boring? Yeah, you're funny. Captain Marvel is not boring. Oh my gosh, I tell you what though, I'm so feeling those planks. My stomach muscles are absolutely killing me.
It was no Infinity War, but I mean that movie was all act.
So
through.
another
very much a Marvel
thing, I use Yahoo and Gmail, and I know.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry, Pans Off. That was totally my fault. What did you just say?
No, keep going.
Okay, so I use Yahoo email, and I also use Gmail. Gmail seems to be a lot easier to, use and set up filters, whereas Yahoo, I was setting up the filters, but they weren't doing like what Vorty was able to do with his, so I still have to work with, my Yahoo and get it. I thought I had it all set up so if I get new follower notifications that they got sent automatically to an email, and it's not doing that. Or not to an email, but to a folder. But yes, if you guys
Fancy one.
Yeah, well, Gmail's great in my experience compared to everything else. Great for organizing and applying rules. But yeah, the free account only has so much space. I'm finally hitting my limit. Oof.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because what I do with my Google account is my main one anyway is back up every photo from my phone to my Google account, which is great for backup purposes. And if I ever lose my phone, people start using the camera. But yeah, it's now making my Google fill up.
Yeah, and the other thing you can do on the filters for Gmail as well is, I mean, you guys want to see, does everyone have an understanding how to do filters, or does anyone want to see how to do them as well? We can run through that a little bit.
yeah, not with that one. Right back. I need a phone call, Vorty.
Alright.
I'll be right back, guys.
Getting any Twitch emails? Oh yeah. So, I mean, I can show you guys that at least. So, this is a very quick thing. I actually have it set for my follower emails to show as automatically read and just drop straight into a folder. So, see if I can remember how to do this here. What you do is you go into whatever folder you want to mess with here as well. And let's say, alright, I want to believe blah blah blah. So I want all these right here to go from this email, because this is one of the sponsor things we got, and I want that to drop into, we're gonna go anything from these guys right here. We're gonna drop in. I'm gonna set it for anything up to a year because I want it to drop all the previous ones in as well. Where'd my chat go? Okay, there we go. Done a few? Oh, okay. And we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna go create a filter. We're gonna skip the inbox automatically. I don't want to mark this one as red because I want to know when there is a new one in these folders, so it'll still show on there. But like the Twitch followers, that's just something that I keep on there so I can glance at it when I have time. So there's certain things that are, I guess I'm gonna label it as I've said in terms of planning and prioritizing, of organizing the chaos that you're going to have. If you have time, there's things that are nice to do, like look back through your followers, see who followed you, that kind of thing. It's not a necessary thing because you should see them in the chat for the most part, everything like that, unless you miss an offline follower. Cool. But it's not mission critical to have that as something right at the forefront. So you can set that to mark it as red, move it to a folder. It's out of sight, out of mind now, so you check it if and when you have time. Whereas if I have something like this where I want to not have this mark as red because this is a potential sponsor thing, which I've actually already agreed to now, so we're going to move anything of that to sponsors, and it's going to move it there. We're also going to apply this filter to the for matching conversations. So that's previous emails that are already in there. So now that's going to apply it to any previous ones and any that come through, and it's going to just drop them right in the sponsor folder for me. So when I come in, I can check and see, do I have any more sponsor stuff? Awesome. Then I have other junk stuff. I have a junk folder specifically for like gaming news and stuff like that, where I drop all that stuff in there, and then it's like if I am sitting networking with other streamers and things like that, I can actually check that stuff and be able to see those things as well. And you can choose to mark it as important, whatever, but there it is. Boom. Create filter. Awesome. Now they're moved automatically. Yeah, who's making love to their mic right now? Depends on. You guys have any other questions about filters at all? You can do a lot with that, and it just allows me to have a little bit of control over what's going on there. So it's like I have folders for YouTube where I just dump it in there. I check that once a week. For Warframe Partner, I check that once a day. Twitch Partner, I check that once a day. So then it's not, when I go in here, the only things I see are new messages that are from like random things, stuff like that, and I can either just click delete on it if it's spam, or I can actually read it, check it out, see if it's a response from someone I want to read. Yeah, Kitten, I'm a hoarder as well, so that's why I have these folders. That's why I have the junk folder that I do. Because, I mean, I'll give you guys an idea. It's like Google stuff, it's signing up for different things to test out different website stuff. I mean, like, there's just a ton of random things that I've done. So, and then stats, like end of stream stats, if I want to compare previous days, I have those auto dump in a folder, because that's something that if I get a chance every day to check it, I'll check it every day. But if I don't, that's fine, because then I'll go back and look at a few days in a row, or I'll look at a whole week or something like that as well. So it's minimizing the noise so that you can focus on what's important. Focus on your community, focus on your stream, focus on your content, and then move on from that point. So that's why I wanted to touch on it, because it was part of the whole planning and organization, and it's been a big point that a lot of people have asked me about personally, so I just wanted to bring it up.
Getting time to start deleting some emails.
Yep. Does anyone else have anything to add to that, or want to know, or questions? Hands off. What about you? What do you
Delete nothing? Because I said delete emails and it's a whole
pay for more space. Make another email and just send it all over to that one.
Yeah.
The question you're sending.
What, me?
Who's mine?
Or Kittens? Because she doesn't. I get so much spam email. I delete all that. Other than that, I don't delete that. I don't delete. If it's something that I don't need, I delete it.
Well, that's where I really bring up. If you do the front end work, it's going to save you time and effort in the long run. Always. Delete nothing, organize everything. Hey, I don't.
Well, I was doing
So
that.
I get stuff from all these different apps and stuff that Vorty has signed up for and everything like that. So I get like Planet Fitness emails and Pampered Chef emails and all kinds of other crazy things
Yeah.
constantly. I don't need that crap. I get newsletters from Pampered Chef people. I don't need that in my life. I can delete that and still say stay.
So the other thing too is, I mean, I'll give you an example. I'm working with Breach to try and figure out why I can't get logged into my account. So that stuff I dump straight into the potential game sponsor, stuff like that, because it was a free copy that was given on Twitch Bounty and everything like that. But I keep those because then when they go, hey, even though it's just random conversation, I keep the flow of the whole conversation thing.
Not yet.
Because then they ask me a question and I go, on this date you said this, on this date I said this, on this date you said that. Because then it gives credibility to your conversation as well. So it's nice to just have that referencing point, because then you can go click on one of them, copy the mail, search for that mail, find all instances of it, and then have reference point of all of that conversation. Actually, Kirby, the weirdest thing that I ever got was one time I did get a thing. I don't know if it was from Nigeria. It was somewhere near the area. But it was in like a wax paper envelope that I could almost see through. And it was sent first class mail. So they paid something like $3.27 or something to send this international first class mail to me. And I opened it up and it was a whole letter about their family needing help and everything like that. So like it was legit in my mailbox, one of those things, but that they paid a equitable amount of money for, because I know that it was sent to multiple people as well. Workouts. Oh yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. I've never seen an envelope like it since then, because it looked like the old school envelopes that you see in like wizard mystical movies, where if you hold it up to candlelight you can kind of read the message through it. Like it was that kind of paper.
Like parchment paper.
Kind of, but it had like straight up candle wax coating on it. Like it was waxy on the. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Weird.
Yeah.
You know, there's an app called IFTTT, If This Then That, and it syncs really well with Twitch and Gmail and other things, so many things. Do you, does anyone here use that for anything related to streaming?
I do not. I have wanted to, but you're talking about, I have it in my junk. You're talking about like, where'd it go? I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff through them. I didn't use it because when I sign up for stuff, a lot of times I won't use it heavily until I give it a few days. And if they send me a bunch of spam mail when I didn't sign up for it, I go, yep, not using that. So if you got something to say that's good about it, I'd love to hear it.
I was just wondering if you used it for any of your Gmail stuff that you were talking about, but I do know someone that uses it for streaming, and one cool thing that it does is connects to their Twitch and their Twitter, and it tweets out to Twitter each one follows. It's like, hey, thanks for the follow, so-and-so, and says their name. Not everyone would like that, obviously, but it's one cool thing he found to do with it.
Nice.
It can also be used to like save your battery, because you can set it by location and make it turn off your Wi-Fi when you leave the house, or turn back on when you get to work, and stuff like that.
Oh, wow. I had no idea. You should frame it. I have no clue where it is. It's up north somewhere. I mean, this was when I was... So this is the weird thing. It wasn't like way into adult life. I was probably 20 or 21 when I got this message. So I was young. On a 300, yeah. I mean, it'd be a cool thing. Now, do you know if you could set it up to maybe do something like every 10 or 20 followers or something? Or message on Twitter just to say, hey, thank you?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. It'd be worth looking into, I guess. I didn't know about it having Twitch connections until recently.
Nice. So, Kitten, I mean, I know that you keep things very organized as well. What kind of organizational stuff do you do for everything? I guess we'll say organizing your life, not just organizing stream. Because from what I've seen in talking to everyone, that's probably the biggest stressor that people have. Really getting to the point of streaming. Take your room in her phone. Hey, no problem. Grey Wolf, just appreciate you cruising with us. And if you guys happen to miss anything, I will be uploading it as well. So it's going to be available for viewing. Looking through her phone, yes. And I mean, do you guys have any feedback or anything like that that you'd like to see out of these as well? These streams we do bi-weekly. Because I would like to get it to the point where we're able to pull up people's individual content as well, give feedback on it so that everyone can see it. For anyone that's, you know, willing to do that. If I knew docs better, yeah. I mean, I have base knowledge of Google Docs and everything. So going back to the taxes thing, would you guys love the, you love feedback? Hey, absolutely. And that's the thing, I know that's not for everyone. I know people don't want to be put on blast of like us pulling your content up on screen and be like, all right guys, we're going to pick this thing apart. Because, you know, it can get pretty brutal in this kind of setting, and it's like, but it's all for growth. That's really it. That's what it's here for, and if it helps someone else out, I don't care if it's my own content as well, and you guys are like, hey, it looks like ass. That's completely fine. Like, one, it's going to make me stronger, and two, it's going to help you guys out because you're going to get to see that other side of it as well. Pick Twyla's content part? That'd be a good call, actually. Starting with audio. Absolutely. Well, here's the whole thing too, is you guys might not have the equipment to make the content get to a certain level either, so it'd be nice to have someone in Discord, we're talking, and then we're able to discuss it. So that's why I say it would just be nice to have other people in here too, able to do this, able to pull content up, because I mean we've got a pretty odd setup ourselves. I mean, with 2 PCs, but we don't do the 2 PC stream setup of streaming to the opposite one or anything. It's because we both have our streaming setup and everything, and there's stuff that we're still working on as well in the process of it. Yeah, Kirby, and I know I haven't had a chance to even kick onto Twyla's stream and really go through her audio and stuff like that either. Need a third PC. That's actually, when we get our taxes back, that's assuming they're at a certain level, that's our next thing that we're going to go for, is a third PC, so we can have a hub dump into it and stream straight out from that. And that was the final goal, so that we could, if it came down to it, both be able to stream separately and still have both cameras visible and audio on a separate plane with push to talk from both, and being able to hear from each mic separately, and that's where we're working for it. So why do you say everything but story-based games? Because you're talking audio being louder for that? I'll give you a full honest thing of that, is that she's playing audio straight out of speakers, and so it's a very odd pickup from it, because she's doing bi-directional audio from her mic. And until we get everything hooked up on a hardware stance, like, we can't really do much about her stream. So that's why I really say it right there. That's the answer to it, is hers is limited by that piece of it. And that's why I would like to get, in the future, people in Discord that want to discuss what they've got, everything like that. Because I know some people are still working on getting more hardware and that kind of thing, so we can potentially at least maximize what they've got with the tools they have to work with. There's questions that many people don't want to help. So it's hard to get feedback sometimes. Well, here's the thing, is your own community is going to want to be nice to you, because they're there to watch you anyway. They're accepting of your community, they're accepting of you, and it's a natural human nature to just be nice to people. It's no different than saying, hey, does this dress make me look fat? I mean, people aren't going to be like, yeah, it does. It just doesn't happen for most people. It's no different than your content. You're going to be like, hey, what do you guys think of this? I've been messing with my audio, and how's this sound? And they're going to be like, oh, it sounds good. When in actuality, they mean, I can deal with it, but I don't like it. Yeah, the ones that say yes without being an ass needs to be modded. Absolutely. That's a true statement right there. Yeah, and I mean, I know it's something that came up from Atomic stream last time that he's been doing for a long time. I've always pulled him up on PC, so I didn't see that he had his bitrate set that high. And it's something that no one gave him that feedback, but it wasn't intentional. It was that the people on mobile weren't able to watch, so they had left, and then the people on PC didn't notice it. So it was just something that completely went by. Whereas if we're pulling it up and picking it apart, we would look at each element of those things and be able to talk about those things exclusively.
Oh yeah, and then I also learned from that I could lower my bitrate a bit and have you know, pretty much the same quality and better performance for mobile users. Yeah.
Right, Kirby. So that's the only reason I bring it up, is I really want to make this less about me talking and stuff like that. I'm happy to do that. If we have topics to talk about, I'll sit here the whole time and we'll discuss it. I mean, as you guys know, what did we do? 5-6 hours last time because the conversation was amazing. But realistically, I'd like to get it to the point where we can start pulling up stuff and really going through it for anyone that's comfortable doing that. And I don't want to put any pressure on anyone, but I would absolutely love to do that. For audio, it's fine for everything. Story-based games coming through in speakers. Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's right, Curb. If your voice is getting, if competing with the music to get heard, that for me as a viewer, when that's happening, it frustrates me because I'm straining to hear the voice amongst the music. So yeah, a lot of people say bring your voice into, you know, the yellow but not the red, and I don't know about you guys, but I keep my music 30 to 50%, maybe even as low as 15 to 25%, but just when it's in the background kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see right now, so where my mic is hitting, it's just hitting, just tapping into the yellow. If I talk loud, if something happens, like a little jump scare or anything, it might just touch into the red. With Panzoff talking, he's probably about 3 to 5% lower than me, so he can still be heard clearly, everything like that. And you can see he's also running on desktop audio, so this is only at 50% right now for the music volume. I think the music's a little bit loud, but because I have it combined on the same source right now that you guys can hear Panzoff, it's up a little higher than I would like. I would normally keep it right about where this black bar is.
Nice.
And plus, I absolutely love, I didn't even know until recently that you could switch to these vertical bars. And it's so awesome because you can go so many more across on OBS that way.
Oh yeah, that's great, instead of the horizontal ones.
Yep. I mean, what's another thing you guys want to know? I'm happy to talk about anything at all. Again, guys, we touched on all the topics I talked about, and that's why I was asking about planning an organization, because that was the big one that was discussed. And if you guys have any questions about that, again, my background is management. Like, I've done it my entire adult life, so that's where it is. Say Discord on a separate audio channel. Yes, so there's a couple things you can do to that. One, you can have it through an actual mixing board. Two, see if I can find. I mean,
a virtual mixing board or sound tray.
Oh, I actually just have straight virtual audio cable. So, well, here, since I have it pulled up, let's see if I. There he goes. Give me a second, because I don't do this very often, so. Sound settings. Here we go. Let me move this over, and you can see I've got this to where I can set my sound. I actually have these virtual audio cables, and it's just a software-based thing to where you can use it as your in and your out source, so it's completely separate. I actually had Discord on it previously. I took it off because I was doing a lot more letting people into Discord and chatting and everything like that. So it actually was set up in a manner to where if I had OBS turned off, I couldn't even hear people on Discord at all. They could hear me, but I could not hear them. But the reality of it is, the reason I did that is because then it allowed me to have different levels for Discord for one, and for two, I could also mute Discord and have it so that it wasn't heard on stream, yet I could still hear what was going on in my ear, and it allowed me to adjust the volume levels between them. And I actually had, and I've been playing with my scenes quite a bit. As you see, I don't have a whole lot of scenes right now, but I had separate audio settings as well that were on different sources. for the output to the stream and the input into my ear, so that I had the audio lower. So if I had people in Discord, I could hear them just fine without worrying about the music, and had it super low. If I didn't have people in Discord, I could just turn the volume knob and it would up the volume on my end, but not on your end. So yes, those are all things you can do. Didn't we discuss a little of that last week?
A little bit.
Yeah, once I get full setup and everything like that, I'll be able to give you guys a little more information with that as well. Because I'm still playing with it. I'm not happy with how it's set up. That's why I keep changing it. But yes, it's fully possible, kitten. Audio capture Discord. So the thing is, if you audio capture Discord but you don't have it set to actually go from Discord into, so you would have to go here. Let me just do it this way. I'm going to show you guys a little something. So the problem exists in that if you leave your Discord settings on your input device, so let's say I have it set up just like this, where you can hear it, you hear it to the microphone, awesome. That's set up as a default device. That's one of the default devices right there. So if you set it up as a normal thing, you're going to hear it output wise on the stream, on default, and on that Discord audio capture. So then that's where you're going to get the echo from. So that's why you have to set it up to run through. So my output device would have to go into, like, and this is where the virtual audio cables come in. So I put it into, I have three of them. One is cable B, one is cable A, and one's cable AB. And that's just the default names for them, all the way around.
Where do you get these virtual cables?
I had put it, it's way up in the streaming help thing. But
I'll go.
yeah, it was given to me long ago. Like, shout out to Rally 5K for throwing that out to me, because I gotta give credit for that one. And they do it on donation base as well. So let me see if I can find it.
Oh, the audio cables. Yes, that was. I remember really telling you about that. And it helped out so
BB
much.
Audio, and it comes with, it's the same thing as Voicemeeter and a lot of that stuff. And when you go to download it, I mean, here we can show you the site for it right now. It is literally bb-audio.com. Oh yeah, you found the video to set it up and everything. But here it is. So this is basically the type of cable you put into a hardware mixing board, and this is just a virtual version of it. So it shows up in your actual sound sources in your settings as its own source, just like default audio and all your line-ins would. So it allows the computer to think that that's an actual audio source that exists there. And I think the donation for it, because it's in euros, it comes out to like $4.61.
It's just under $5.
And that was for, you get one free or one for $1.99, and then the other two you get for like $5.
A
So
$1 donation.
I think I spent $7 for 3 of them, and they've been a huge thing. You can do a ton with. That's posted in Discord. Yeah, it's in the streamer help thing. It's way up there. I'll see if I can get a hold of the. Here, I can.
In the streamer help, you can just do a search for virtual cable, and you'll find it.
Oh, there you go.
I also just posted one of the. It was just 2 YouTube links. So there was that one that I posted.
I gotcha. I'm on it.
And so now it'll be in the VOD too.
Put that in the streamer help,
Yeah,
Curbs.
there you go. And here, I'll drop it. Right there as well. There you go. I put the actual link to it in that thing also.
Send it.
Awesome. And Panzoff, did you have any other topics? Or anyone else have anything they want to know? This is what I'm talking about. Like, feel free. This is an open forum. That's why we,
Oh, great.
we've broadcasted in the Discord. This is done from a separate account so that it's an intimate feel. We have alerts turned off so it's not blowing up with, following. Like, cool. If you want to follow us, so you can see when we go live. That's awesome. But this account is literally for us to have an intimate setting that we can openly discuss things.
Here's the Discord. Thank you, Banjo. Hey,
Time-saving
can you
meal
mod
ideas
Kirby
for
real
stream
quick?
night.
so he can make that a command.
Time-saving meal ideas. Oh, I'm gonna write that down. I'll tell you what. We'll do that on next one. Because she's been told she got to do a cooking stream.
Oh, hell no.
You need a bot to make the commands. There might not be a bot for this channel
How am
yet.
I gonna cook in here?
Well, we're talking time-saving meals.
Oh,
Be able to, so we can actually we can go over that.
I
That'd
got
be a
lots
good
of
one.
ideas.
But that'd be something she'd have to compile, not me, because my time-saving meal is
Go to Burger King.
yeah. We get that thing done. Can I get a pen? I don't know where the pen went.
Can you open the drawer and
Open
pull out
the drawer.
any of the billions of pens that are in there? That one
Simple
doesn't
answer
work
for
out,
that,
okay.
Kirby, is don't do it if it's illegal. And some places what's legal is different. But also you want to think about how to represent yourself, especially if going for partnerships.
Boom.
Yeah, that does bring up another good point, Kirby. Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll share it because it's not something that I hide or anything, but well, do not have to worry about having. Yep, kitten. That's been why I'm really pushing for that. It gets a little bit crazy setting it up that way, though. That's why it would be a whole. Can you actually write that down? We can talk virtual audio cables next stream because that's probably going to be a full 1 hour discussion of really setting it up because at one point I'll click the wrong thing, either input or output, and then you guys will lose my audio, and so it'd be something that we'll really have to go through. So that's where that's going to come from. But as far as smoking, yeah, I mean, if you're talking cannabis or anything like that, yes, it's based on local laws. It's not so much about whether it's legal or not. It's more about whether you want to ostracize certain viewers that don't want anything to do with that. And where I've put it is, I am a smoker and I have been long term, but I don't choose to broadcast that on stream, knowing that only 10% of the public smokes. We do have some younger people that come in, and I don't want to be the advocate that says that that's okay at all. It's not that I am trying to not be myself, it's that I personally don't like smoking in general, so even though I do, so it's something just out of respect for other people, I choose not to do it on stream. And that is up to the streamer themselves of how they want to do that, because I know many don't want to deal with the stress of walking away, but I don't smoke in the house or anything anyway. So we'll say it just like that. As far as drinking, I don't have the exact wording on the rules from Twitch, but again, you have to be of legal age, and it's got to be of legal reason and everything like that for you. Outside of that,
Not in excess.
yes, and not in excess. So you can be buzzed. People do drunk streams, everything like that. That's one story. But you're walking a line at that point. So knowing yourself as well, because if you have tendency to get violent or anything like that, that's against terms of service. If anything should happen. Lucky for me, I'm happy drunk, so I'm completely
And he's
fine
got
with it.
me to take
Yeah.
care of him, make sure he doesn't cross that line.
You can't be detrimental to yourself or dangerous. Exactly.
And
So
yeah,
here's
so
the other thing too, and I really want to put this out there because it was even mentioned, is yes, donations for shots, subs for shots, whatever. That's against terms of service, because then you're running the risk of drinking yourself to excess because of that, and you're putting it at the will of your chat rather than making it a social gathering. So that is not a line you want to walk. Stream, which was clipped. Oh, smashed her setup on stream, which was clipped. Oh, I've seen
Wow,
that. Yep,
kidding.
yep, I have seen that.
I haven't seen that.
But yeah, Kirby, that's a very good topic. And that's where I say the reason I say shade of gray is because I'm not here to tell people how to run their own stream. But what I am going to say is I have my own personal morals, expectation, and ethics that I live by, and direction for stream and everything like that. And that is the choice of the streamer, first of all, but also still living within TOS.
I mean, it can go either way. It's all in how you conduct yourself. It's all it has to all
And
be
yes.
within reason, and it's all depending on context. Like
Call
for
curves.
example, there is that example of that streamer, and there's so many other examples that I've read about
Being in the right
that
category
are
when you're
just-
live boarding.
that are weird. But then there's the case of Bordy here, showing that there is a
are
rare
in the right
example of when
category.
you can
He's
get drunk
saying
on
it's a
stream and
suggestion.
actually have it help your growth. That was such a hilarious night of clips, Bordy.
Oh yeah.
We'll never forget them.
Oh, I had a great time too, and that's something that like I don't do often. And I made it a chat after that because people kept bringing it up, like, "Oh, when are you going to do that again?" I'm like, "Not anytime soon," because it's not something I do all the time. That's a rare occurrence that I wanted to share with the community, and you know, and that's something that I'm very open and honest about with my own children, even of like, it's okay to cut loose and be a human being. And I'm not going to be one that's like, no, we don't drink, we don't anything. And that's just what we mean by morals and ethics of like, it's okay to be a human. Like, so yes, I absolutely enjoyed that though. That was a great fun night.
I know what you're talking about, Kirby.
That's pretty much me whenever I go out too, by the way, guys. Like, that's why we don't do it often, because it's ridiculous. I'm best friends with everyone, by the way.
I partied a little bit with Bordy in real life, and I think he's telling the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tame night though. It was pretty...
Hopefully for the next one you're gonna be not the driver.
Oh yeah, that was a very tame night.
Yeah.
Oh, it was a tame night. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep. So yes, Kirby, being in the right category while live. So yeah. So okay, being in the right category while live. One big thing about that is there is a window that's acceptable to be swapping over and things like that and being able to chat about it. I mean, today we were on Smite and I swapped over instead of putting a beer at back screen where she was on separate game. And what is it? The ruling changed to, and it was because of a lot of the streamers that were just sitting chatting and not actually playing the game for whatever reason that we won't get into. And
Why are you looking at me?
I was just looking over at you, just seeing if you wanted to interject. But I believe that it's you have to be hitting the gameplay for what, 50% of the time, and it has to represent at least 50% of your screen. So you can have it on one of those just chatting type things where it's your camera pretty big and then you've got the box over here, which that's what I wanted to set up tonight, but I'm still working through my own scenes right now because I do this probably once every 3 months where I just get angry at my scenes and just throw them all out. I'm like, nope, I don't like them anymore.
True story.
But if you have that, then you're still playing the game, you're showcasing it, that kind of thing, that's fine. But yeah, there's been a lot of discussion about that. I mean, even the named accounts with the game name in their actual name, so it shows up higher on directory. And again, it's not so much going to relate back to TOS at that point as it is of ethics and what it's doing for your own branding. Hands if you agree with that?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
What is okay to show?
Depends on your audience.
Can you show feet? You cannot show feet on stream.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you can for fitness streams. Not at all.
What?
I
You
think you have
can't
to
show
have socks
feet? What
on.
are you talking about? What?
Oh, yeah, you can't show bare feet. I think you can
I've
show
never
You
feet
show feet, but
with
that-
socks on.
you can't-
Because I mean,
Yeah.
I know I've seen some that were like playing Twister and doing Dance Dance Revolution where they were actually showing foot movement and everything as well. Yeah,
Foot fetishes.
yeah, basically. So there was a lot of stuff like
this
that.
isn't a foot fetish site. Like, why
Well,
is that a rule?
So if you allow feet on there, then there can become the slow sensual foot thing, and like where does the
right.
line get drawn at that point? So just saying no bare feet, period.
Oh well. But cleavage is okay. Like I don't know if you got a footage for something that isn't a private part. I mean, like, what's
What?
I don't get.
Well, I mean,
it.
at
It's
what
just-
point do you say
it's
like,
just a foot?
well, yeah? I mean, I don't care how people conduct their channels personally. I just say just don't go to it if you don't like it. And I mean, that's it. Be tolerant or be gone of other people. I mean, that's
Yeah,
how
for
I
sure.
look at
I'm
it.
just shocked. I've never
Yep.
heard of that.
I mean, it's definitely not my style.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as so you can also as long like males, if it's fitness related and stuff like that. Apparently, and I don't know the confirmed answer of this, but you can show nipple, but you just can't touch nipple.
Didn't Grid do that?
Yes, he said so. I can do this,
But I
but none
can't.
of this. Which that was a hilarious clip, by the way. Which, in some sense, does make sense because if you're doing an outdoor stream where I don't know you're in a volleyball tournament or something, you're not going to be like, hold on, let me put on my poncho real quick. That's just the way it is, and I mean,
Get my beach tees on.
yeah. And as far as cleavage goes, I'm just going to say it like this. At what point would we draw the line then? It has to be a thing that is allowed because we're all built differently. And the reality of it is that what are you going to do? Send it and say, you got to hold a ruler up to your cleavage and it has to meet a 3-inch requirement or less?
I'm sorry. There's so many shirts that I have that there's just cleavage. I can't help it. I
Like-
try not to wear them on stream or have it.
You're
cover,
walking a
but
dangerous line if you're telling people to cover that up. That's it.
It's tough.
Yeah, but I mean, my equation to that was just it's not really generally considered a private part. It's generally visible, often on your body. I didn't think foot fetishes were such a common thing that we all had to never show feet ever. That's just I've never heard of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as far as that goes, this is all niche market stuff that I don't pretend to know much about. So the first thing 4 years ago. Oh, really? 4 years ago? Whoa! And Twyla still owes a drunk stream. That is
I
true.
don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, good
I only
topics.
drink on my birthday.
What else? Pets on stream? Obviously you guys know that have been around here on a regular basis. We don't intend on the dog jumping on cam and stuff like that. Animals are just, I mean,
Animals.
they're animals. That's just it. They don't care that you're streaming. But it comes down to personally what your stream's all about. I have a dual-sided feel about the dog bed cam. I think it's amazing that they can get their dog to stay there.
Our dog, yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean, I think to some level as well, that's exploiting your animal for that level also.
But also, as soon as we stopped our stream, we went and laid down. He was right there sleeping, right next to her, right under her, behind her legs. So
He only jumps up and goes crazy because he's basically telling us, guys,
for
it's
bed."
time for bed. I don't want him. I don't want him. Spray water, be mean. Yeah.
Well, I would assume that people aren't mean to their pets to begin with.
Yeah, unless it's like an iguana, then you can spray water at it.
Well, they like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe you can't. I mean, iguanas do love that, but I don't know.
I don't mean it, really. I mean, I did accidentally step on my cat because I didn't know he was underneath the desk earlier
That
today.
was,
He freaked
man,
out.
the poor
Made the most
cat.
vile sound ever.
And there we go.
Yep.
I know this is kind of a negative aspect of the topic, but maybe I'm the only one that considers this. But
You have a spare
I had
can,
to deal with
kitten?
this recently. Sorry, Twyla.
No, what was that?
When you make your animal, your pet, part of your stream, you have to be prepared to really share the heartbreak with the audience when they're not around anymore. Because pets, let's face it, don't last forever.
Yeah, that's a true statement right there.
I had my cat added into my logo that was created for me by an audience member, and
I didn't even think of that.
and she just passed away last year. So
That's a great call. I mean, I didn't think
yeah,
of
I
that
mean,
at
what's
all.
going to happen to W grades within the next 7 years? I don't know.
Yeah, very true. Wow.
Yeah, the bird will probably outlive you.
We'll
Let's
get
be
another
honest. here.
corgi.
Yeah.
And some pets have long life expectancies, and they're probably the best choice if you're going to stream for a long time. Yeah.
Throw it across the hardwood floor because it farted during... I mean, I don't know if any of you guys saw when the dog was literally in her lap and she turned her head and the dog farted in her face pretty much. Like, just
Literally
straight up.
farted in
And I mean,
my face.
We're talking on cam because this is not a lap dog. This is a 70 plus, no, almost 90
No, he's
pound
almost
now.
90 now.
On her lap and just straight up blasted her in the face.
It was rancid as well.
Yeah. Kirby, really?
So much faith in your fellow streamer there, Kirby.
Right. But I mean, with our dog, I have to push him back too, though. He will not.
He's such a stubborn,
That's how you get pink eye.
strong-willed dog. Yeah.
Yes. So yeah. And then you also have to be prepared for the other thing with animals too, of like, the dog doesn't care there's a green screen there. He stood
Dog
ass out and just stopped and just stood there ass out for about a minute and a half.
That's true, Curbs.
Yeah.
But we're not most people, too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't intend on stopping. I stuck with the last career I had for 17 plus years, so the landscape of it may change, but I don't see it going anywhere, to be honest.
It's the new TV.
I'll say I can see myself holding a presence in this for a long time. So, if not this,
We
like
don't
I
know
said,
if Twitch necessarily will. It doesn't necessarily mean we'll be on Twitch the whole time, but as time changes, things change.
I mean, there's other sides to it too. Consulting, management. There's a lot that you can do with that that isn't
Still
direct with
streaming
it, but
related.
still fully interactive with the community. So, this will be right. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Everybody loves the fact that you can have live interaction with your TV, basically. Hey, great, welcome back.
But yeah, what other topics do you guys have? I know we're just sitting here with screen up, just having chat.
Gray, did you have any questions at all?
I want to have an actual chat screen next time for you guys, so you have something to watch. If you guys want something like that.
I like chat on the stream because then you can full screen the whole stream if you're not active in the chat.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah, Miss J, that's very true. I gave up TV for and that's what I was saying just recently as well. Is that's why we don't have Netflix and stuff like that, because we really
Hey.
trying to get the cat's
Really?
attention. He's trying to eat something out there. We really don't watch TV either. I mean, this is it. How far is too far with jokes on stream?
Depends on the joke.
Depends on the joke, channel, and every bit of it. And I mean,
It also depends on your mods and how good they are at keeping things.
yeah, that's a tough one too. And at the same time, I'm gonna say don't compromise who you are over jokes or anything like that, as long as they're not pushing the limit of certain things that are against TOS. So, and I mean, that'd be such as sexist, racist, I mean, culture-based, anything
Religion.
like that.
Politics.
But as far as it goes outside of that, common sense, that's what I say. Yeah, but I mean, there are streamers as well that they want to interact with their chat in a certain way that
They like that
they
kind of
push.
grass.
Yeah, and there are people that enjoy that as well. Hell, I mean, I think of it more like there's a restaurant around here that used to have Rude Tuesdays. There was one that we encountered in Texas called Dick's, where
People
you
like
literally
that.
go there and it's intentionally that they tear off a chunk of your tablecloth because it's paper, and they swear at you and
Belittle you.
belittle you and everything, and people enjoy that side of it as well. So
Yeah, some of the most popular channels do some trolling.
right, and so
Some
yeah,
major.
It really depends.
there's no cookie cutter response to that. But it's really, are you wanting to lose some people over the fact of you keep it too plain, or are you wanting to lose some people over the fact of you're keeping it too out there? And what do you want your community to really look like, and how do you want to control your stream? Because at the end of the day, it's your stream, and I don't want to say it like this, but not your chat stream, it is your stream, and you have to remember that. And I only bring that up because back to the initial topics we were talking about mods and when to ban someone, that's all relative.
That's why it's really important to pick people that fit really well with your personality style, so the mods can tell if it's something that you'll allow or not. And also have that clear communication with your mods.
Touching on Article 13 as well. I'm going to write that down for next time, actually, because that'd be a good one to discuss. Yeah, can you write that down, actually?
Twitch themselves just had a stream about Article 13 too. I mean, you need to go check that out on their channel.
Yep. Picking what your emote should be and naming emotes.
Huh.
Throwing random. Don't stream, just throw random. Hey, that's perfect, Kirby. I like the little mini topics as well, because as we said, this will be saved and uploaded, so it'll live up here as well for anyone to view.
But Article 13 is something that there's a lot that we would like to look into before we actually discuss it more.
Yep. And as far as picking emotes, though, I mean, I see a lot of people that do a full theme across the whole thing, and that's cool because
I would
then
love
it's
to do that.
a
but-
common theme. I see people. I mean, we did ours fairly random, but it was certain things that were relative to events in the community
We
and
are
things
really
like that
random.
that happened. And I mean, a little personal feel to it, but still something that's relatable. So, I mean, it's based on. You like having a theme? Yeah, exactly.
I wish we did have a theme, but these emotes just seem like what we needed to have.
That's your answer. Like, I was waiting for this insightful moment from you here.
Nope, that was it.
So yes, the whole theme thing, it can give a good feel to it because then it tells
Yes,
a whole
Miss J.
story and can answer to any situation. We went a different route and it was really relative to things that had happened in the community. So a long time people were included in those things, but then also some stuff based on different games that we've played and things like that as well, that anyone new to the channel coming in could have a little more personal feel to that also. So a lot of times with themed emotes, one thing I'll say about it is I personally don't feel there's inclusion for new people coming to the channel to be compelled to want to use those unless they know really why those emotes exist. Whereas like the ones that we chose, there's at least a couple that could have a relative crossover that were usable, and that's, we put a lot of thought into it for that reason.
Yeah, you don't want all your emotes to be an inside joke, right?
Yeah, that's basically what I'm
Welcome back.
saying.
Yeah,
For the emotes.
everyone loves
Oh,
kitty
yeah.
emotes.
I mean, I'll tell you that I have seen that Snoopy Sip emote in random channels I've been lurking in a lot now. So that one is probably the one that I see get used the most across the board.
And it was interesting because the person that did our emotes said that it's usually cat emotes, not dog. So it was a nice change up for them doing the dog emotes.
Yeah.
Snoopy and the dog.
People love sippy ones. Yeah, and we just wanted something that was a little different take on it. So yes, it is a common theme that's used across a ton of them. BTTV. Oh yeah, we put a few on there as well. If you don't pay for BTTV, you can put up 5 emotes on there yourself. So if you wanted to have them ready, have them up there. Your community can still use them as long as they have the browser source. And then
So BTTV and FFZ, Frankerface Z, will both be able to, will give you the ability to add more emotes into your channel. But it's also important to use these as well as a streamer, having BTTV in your browser or activated in OBS if you have chat there, like in Streamlabs OBS. I use it in there. It will. It's useful for a number of things. Like it'll highlight anything where your name is mentioned in the message. It'll highlight that whole message in red, so you are more likely to not miss it. And also, you can hover over emotes and see what channel they're from. You can also click on people's names and find out how long they've been following you. Maybe that's just a Twitch thing. I'm not sure.
sub emotes also being BTTV emotes. I'm indifferent about it, and I mean, we do still have a few of them that are up because we hadn't taken them down yet either. But that can be pricey for people also. So when you look at a
I didn't even know that had a TF on it
what?
until he mentioned these tactical fatties thing. I mean, it makes sense, but
Oh,
I just
yeah.
thought it was lying.
Yeah, and that's how BTTV enhances emotes as well. You can hover over it and see the giant one, the big version.
Yep.
But I forget if it's BTTV or FFZ.
I've,
but
I've got
they
a
won't
question,
let you
hands up, while I've got you in the channel.
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
What was that? Hands up?
I was just gonna say they won't let you put any emotes on that are already on Twitch. I tried.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I also thought I could maybe use one that I designed for someone else where they gave me written permission, but they just won't do it because
Oh.
they're using it on their Twitch channel. Sorry, what was your question, Twilight?
So I have BTTV downloaded to my actual browser, and I'm allowed to see the actual emotes and everything like that. But when I hover over them, it just tells me the name of the streamer. It doesn't make it bigger.
I
What am
think
I doing
there was
wrong?
an update to the browser source or something, because mine's doing that now as well, and it's not showing red for me any longer either.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah. But it could also be because of the recent partnership, because we had emotes on there. We might have to double check it.
What browser are you using?
Chrome.
Okay, yeah, I'm using Chrome too. I haven't noticed any problems yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's one thing that we have to look into.
and that's the thing though. It was working just fine for him, and it wasn't working for mine. But we had the same setup.
They're trying to crack down on stole emotes. Oh, I've seen people straight snipping other people's emotes and using them in their channel. That's crazy to me. Eating on stream. So, in moderation, especially for those doing long streams, cool. If eating can be soothing to a lot of people. I actually have read articles on that's why a lot of high tiered managers and things like that keep snacks, candy, that kind of thing on their desk, because it's been proven in a lot of cases, if you are eating something in front of people when they're having a tough conversation, so if you're firing someone and you eat a little bit in between, it keeps them calm because it's a soothing thing psychologically. So on that level of it, I have no problem with it.
That makes sense because we eat when we're safe.
Yep. Took me out to lunch. Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's exactly what happens right there. So now you know the other side of it. That's the why behind it. Plus, it's a public place then, so you can't rage.
That might be a good boss. Like, I wonder if they didn't have to do that and that wasn't policy, but it was just his decision. That seems like a pretty cool thing to do for that.
I can't stand to watch people eat. Yeah, but I look at it like this. So if anyone's doing over 8 hours of stream, I am willing, if I'm sitting in there for that 8 hours, I will watch them eat twice during that. Because they can have a snack and they can have a meal, just like going to a real job.
So,
Because I don't think that people on Twitch would be very forgiving if I said, hey, I'm going to take my half-hour lunch now.
yeah, I personally can't stand it when seeing it, or especially hearing it. However,
yeah, like if they were just like slurping on like squid or something.
oh my gosh, that's so. Oh, nope.
Raw squid.
But I do try to sneak. Like lately, I've been trying to sneak goldfish and stuff. Just a little here and there, like combos or something like that. But I know it's not desirable because I'm sitting there with these puffy cheeks, shoving goldfish and stuff in my face a little bit. But
well, that's why I said for next stream we'll talk about meals and stuff as well, because I mean, I'll just say it, like, do you really want to be having clips altered of eating a banana on stream and
yeah,
things like that? So be mindful of what you're putting in your mouth while the camera's on.
okay. So and there's also it really also depends too on the eating. Like I don't want to hear it. That's end of story. The crunching, the chewing, all that. Nope. A definite hard no for me. However, I guess like I guess it really depends on the person. I don't know. Because, yeah, like what Kirby says, if it's someone that's hardcore rating, they gotta stop and take a break to eat their food, but they can't, so.
Yeah, bag sprinkling is like, yeah, exactly. That's why I get on her stuff all the
I try
time.
not
About
to.
every time she's like, hey, I got a snacks, and it's like, here's 4 bags of chips. Thanks.
Oh,
I'll
yeah,
leave those sitting here until we're done.
Because guess what? Shit comes in bags.
What are you doing eating shit?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, well, with chips, you got to put it in a bowl, and then it's so much less noise. Don't be digging into that bag.
Really? Thanks, Pinto.
I hate hearing people eat, and yeah, if the mic is going to be picking up the chewing or the ruffling around, I really like it when the streamer mutes, unless they're speaking during their eating session.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we try to
Chips
do that
and bowl.
too. If we have to like clear our throats or something like that, we will mute the microphone and.
Yeah, there's one exception to that, and that's where, hey guys, I've got this food I've never tried before. Let's have this together. That's where it's like a no holds barred at that point.
Kombucha.
Gross.
Social eating.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have an international audience, so if someone suggested something and, you know, ordered it on Amazon for us and sent us some Japanese candy or something like that, that'd be the exception where it's like, fine, open it up on stream, show them what it looks like, show them the wrapper. You can make the noise at that point. Don't turn the mic off because it's inclusion. I don't know if I'd call it full social eating or anything, but absolutely. You have your mic set to a hotkey? Yeah.
No, I didn't see the movie Tactical. I wanted to, but
Challenges as well. Yeah. I think more, I guess when I hear social eating, I think more like, hey, we're going to be doing this for the next hour, and you're going to watch me eat this whole plate with this 32-ounce steak on it.
Would you watch that?
No.
I know some people do, you know, just chatting streams or IRL streams where they are putting the camera right there at the table with them, and that's pretty cool. It feels like you got a seat at the table.
That's true. And I have seen those as well. Hot pepper challenge? I wouldn't do it. Not on stream.
now
I
you
might-
cry like a baby.
I might video it and post like a little clip of it. But if you start gagging, choking, or like you throw up or something, that's not something you want on camera.
Well, some people do.
I know one person who we all know, I don't know if I should name them, did donate $5 and I'll drink this hot sauce.
Oh. Nope. Nope.
Really?
Hey, Kirby, that's all that I thought social eating was. I thought it was just that. Like,
Mock bang.
it's like huge. I forget the exact thing of it. Like the huge plate of stuff. Well, yeah, but I say don't put yourself in compromising positions that might end up being like that. So think ahead of what's the worst that can happen right now. Shouldn't do that. And that's personal preference. I mean, by all means. But yes, guys, I am going to say it right now. Do you guys have anything else? Questions, concerns, comments, anything you want to see for next one? And I am going to be posting up and seeing if we can get a couple others in here for a bit of that, hitting on those topics. Did you write that last one down as well?
Yeah, I did.
What was it?
It was talking about
What alternative to a Stream Deck is there? I mean,
There's virtual stream decks.
yeah, there's virtual Stream Decks. Also, you can on keyboards as well that have additional buttons. You can map those keys to be a series of like Alt Shift F9, like something that's not really used, so that you can map those extra keys to actually do things, so you can have at least a few buttons as well. Yeah, because tactical, that's not healthy at that point. I'll tell you what, I actually went to a Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and I saw the smallest Japanese guy just whip past everyone in this hot dog eating contest. What was it? Yes.
Yeah, but if you're gonna get the mini one for, well, I might as well get the larger one for a little bit more.
Yeah, I think it's probably worth it to get the more buttons.
Thank you, Curbs.
Yeah, Kirby, absolutely. Yes, guys, if you have anything else, you can post it in the streamer help section. Again, Panzoff, thank you for popping in here again and chatting, hanging, and cruising with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is something that we do bi-weekly. We will probably shift time here and there, but it'll be right around here as well. There's Panzoff in chat if you want to drop him a follow.
Yes,
also.
please drop him a follow if you haven't already.
Pretty sure all you guys are.
Still.
And we are we're gonna take you guys over to Bearded because he just announced that he is going full-time streaming. And he has been completely blown up, networking everything effectively in the Final Fantasy directory. So maybe we'll just sneak in on him because he's got his Be Right Back screen up right now. But we're gonna take you guys over. Yes, Be Right Back raid. So let's actually spam him with one thing. Yes, thank you for that, Grey Wolf. So we're gonna spam him with some get your ass in here and do some sit-ups.
Ooh, I love that.
So there it is. Thank you guys again. You guys have a great night.
Alright guys, see you later. See you tomorrow night.